Okay, so let's talk a little about intentions. Setting intentions, making manifestations. There's an awful lot of talk around the idea of letting an intention go and forgetting the intention with the hopes that it will just come to you and arrive in whatever shape and form is best for you. But I think though that is partly important, that does the same amount of use as sowing some seeds, planting some seeds into some soil and pretending you never did. Walking back into your house, putting on the television, forgetting that you've got the intention to grow some herbs or crops or plants or a tree, whatever it is, in your back garden. I like to see seeds as like our ideas, stuff that we want to kind of blossom in our life. And I see nurturing that seed, so watering it, making sure the sun hits it in the right amount of time that it needs to grow that particular plant. All of those things that's necessary for things to grow is our action. It's us showing up for ourselves. It's energy and love that goes into the idea, the passion project, the thing that we are trying to manifest. So I personally, as I am someone who likes to work alongside the seasons, this time in particular is a good time for setting new intentions, because we're moving from winter, drier, colder, still months into growth and movement and change and, you know, things blossoming around us and showing for themselves. And as well as that, astrologically, we've just passed the new year. So though I like to celebrate January the 1st with friends and family, because that's what society thinks is like the new year, but for me, I've always felt more aligned with the astrological new year, which we've just passed Aries season, which is the very first month of the year for most witches or people who are, you know, follow pagan beliefs, etc. I just think there's a really nice change up in the air. There's movement finally happening, and that's when I took part in this method, which I'm going to go through with you. And it's like realigned my focus so that I'm not like shifted and my energy is not scattered. And it's a very practical way to work on a kind of vision board in a way, but one that comes with practical, logical solutions and doing the things every single day that help us come closer to those things. To remind yourself what we're doing here, what you're doing here, what's the point. So you potentially could meditate over this idea, even if you're not someone who meditates a lot. To start this video off, it might be a good idea just to kind of like sit with yourself if you want to pause this video and sort of sit in some silence, or just maybe even listen to some music. It doesn't matter, just do whatever kind of helps you understand you and get more in touch with yourself a bit more, just to feel that essence and be like, right, this is who I am, this is what I want. Some people might like to visualize a literal blank canvas and asking yourself, if I could grow whatever I wanted into this arena, into this space, what would it be? Would it be a family? Would it be a successful, abundant career? Would it be more friendships? Would it be better health, self-care? Like, there's so many different things. Everyone's going to have a different feeling within them that they know that they need to bring more of into their life. So just sort of sit with that in a non-judgmental, open space. Like, you can be as bold and as wild with your visualizations as you wish, because at the end of the day, this is your life. Anything is possible if you put your mind and your soul into it and pick apart how it looks, what it means, what's happening in that visualization, and figure out what our inner selves are really yearning for and wanting without societal pushback, without our parents or our friends or society in general saying like, that's not possible, like, who do you think you are, kind of thing. That goes out the window for this experiment, for this activity. So sit with that for a little bit, and all of those thoughts that you're having in that moment of what you want to bring in are potentials. And the really cool thing about potentials is that they are always going to be bigger than the stuff that's not working for you in life, your issues, your problems. Something really cool about setting intentions and visualizing stuff and manifesting is that the potential of better, of greater is always going to be bigger than the actual problem. And I find that really comforting in itself. So that's something that if you find yourself bogged down a lot by the things that work against you, then that's a very comforting thought to know that there is always space left, and actually bigger space for the potential outside of the stuff that you're dealing with, or even through the stuff you're dealing with. I actually read about that in a book I'm reading at the moment, The Path Made Clear by Oprah Winfrey. All dreams start from the core. Unless you are in total alignment with whatever you envision, the dream will get derailed. And that's really why I'm emphasizing on the fact that these intentions need to be closest to who you are and not other people that you've met along the way or what you've learned about society thinking and believing you should be. Because the closer something is to your core and what you are as an individual, the more likely you are to make that happen, because it's running on a belief system that is like directly linked to your heart. If you find a why, your brain will find a how. And there's literal like scientific study behind the idea of that concept. When you kind of unlock why you feel so compelled to paint, or why you feel so drawn to this person, or, you know, whatever your visualizations always bring you towards, when you figure out what the point of that is, like why, what's the kind of beating heart in between all of that, you can literally move mountains. You can do anything. You will do it for free. Craft something that other people would say, how does she do that? Like, how does she put so much love and attention into it? Because it's her heart. Like, if you can find out what that is, it's not going to happen, because it's all you're going to want to do, and it's all you do, because there's such like a intense force behind it. Nothing else is going to be able to match for you. Nothing's going to get in between you and that thing. This activity itself feels like it's like a passage, it's like a roadmap, it's like the way through something, or how you can physically like move into a space that you really want to manifest and bring abundance. So you can do this however you choose to. For me, what was really helpful was having a big blank empty coffee table right in front of me with nothing on it, and I had loads of little slips of paper that I cut up. And on those slips of paper, I was writing down things that I really wanted, and how I wanted my life to look generally, and what I wanted to be happening. And I just kept going until everything sort of felt like I had written most down. Like, when there was nothing else ticking away, I felt confirmed that everything I ever wanted in life was sat right on that coffee table. Now, I would suggest in this part of the process to categorize all of the things that you want to bring into your life. So that's exactly what I did. I had body and mind, so things like regular nature connection, slower eating of lighter food, so mindful eating, wanted to stretch more and dance more, you can put regular walks, I don't know. And then I had a box for home, so I knew that I wanted a decluttered space, more organized space, so that goes in that box. And then I had a box for, everyone's is going to look different. I had a YouTube box because it's what I do, I have a tarot box because it's what I do. It could be family, finance, just it needs to go in some kind of box, because those are all individual parts of who you are, what makes you you. And I think it's also important to think about what boxes aren't there for you, because if you're tending to just one section of your life, you'll find that the flow won't be as smooth, and I think you'll manifest slower because you're not working with other elements of yourself. Like, I think things like being fitter in yourself and having a better mental health, like mind space, will help with things like creative flow or your career. If you've got too much focus in on your mental health and doing a heavy amount of activities in that space, you might find that your kind of fun box, your entertainment lacks, and therefore it doesn't help you in all of the stuff that you're trying to do for your mind. So you might be sacrificing seeing people and doing things outside a little bit more because things are very heavy and serious at home, working on, like, do you get what I'm saying? Everything kind of bleeds into one. I always like to see it in that respect of those boxes being branches of a tree. And you can't just have one branch over here flourishing. In order to make that branch flourish, you need to nurture the entire tree. You're then going to need to flip the coin on its head a little bit and instead focus in on the yin to the yang, white to the black, the conscious to the subconscious. It's allowing more like focus. It's the conscious part of all of those subconscious ideals and manifestations that you want to bring into your life. On the other side of the paper, if you've written all of those things down on a bit of paper, like an A4 paper, then I would suggest you turn it over, or if you've got a notebook and you've written down those manifestations down on the notebook, turn the page over, and this side is just going to be that beneath area of your dreams to the surface area. It's the part down here in comparison to the part up here that you've already worked on. These are going to be the commitments to yourself, the agreement to your soul of saying, this is the stuff I need to do in order to nourish and flourish those intentions on the other side. So kind of see it as like the water, that sun that's going into those seeds and that soil which you've already established. That other side of the page needs to be titled with something like, how does my week need to look? You know, in order for all of those things to be reality, what does my week need to look like in order for those to happen? It's such a simple little consideration, but this is going to be your Bible in a sense. This is going to be your, am I showing up for my dreams? Am I doing the things bit by bit every day in order to bring about change in my life? And I would recommend just to do what you need to do in a week because it's more focused. I basically wrote bullet points of things that I needed to do at least once a week. And sometimes you're going to write things on it. Like for me, it was the case of doing that activity twice a week. You might even want to say like every day. For instance, if you're trying to manifest stronger, greater friendships in your life, you might want to write check up on my friends every single day. I guess it's the instruction of your seed packet of how much you need to water that seed, what you need to provide for that seed every day, how much sunlight. And really, that's where all the power lies. Every morning when you wake up, set your little empty bit of paper in front of you, which is waiting for you to write down all of those things that you're doing on that day, going by the list of things that you know you need to get done through the week. That's where the power sits the most, because you are 42% more likely to do something if you write it down. If you write the intention of you doing something down on a bit of paper, that's a big amount of improvement on your likeliness of it happening, of you doing it. Every morning you're going to just write the day, the date. For me, I write the day, the top, and then I write the date up in the corner. Simple little bullet points of things that I know that I need to get done in order to fulfill intentions on this piece of paper. So just kind of use this as your guideline. It hits you with some sort of like natural drug that makes you feel proud of yourself for doing something, but also motivated to do the next thing. There's scientific study into that as well. It will allow you to also see by the end of the day the things that you didn't quite get done, and that's okay. The good thing about this daily list is that you are allowing the natural flow of life to work alongside you. The reason why you don't want to refer to this big list every day is because every day is going to look very different, and sometimes you're going to feel in a headspace to do a certain activity and some days you aren't. Like sometimes I wake up on a Wednesday morning, I look at this list and I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm going to be doing that one at the bottom there. I'm not in the mood for it. I can't be bothered. I'm in a very like low energy space today, and that's all right. I can do the things that involve me sitting on my bum, such as admin, such as making a phone call, such as like the things that are like lower intensity And then I can always tell myself tomorrow's a new day. And it always shocks me that, because sometimes when I'm in a space where I don't feel creative, motivated, energetic, I look at my list and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna ever do any of these things this week. I just don't. I remind myself tomorrow's a new day, but sometimes I don't believe it. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna wake up feeling more into it tomorrow. And I do. For instance, this video, yesterday, I wanted to get this video done because I wanted to create more videos around these kind of topics, but no. Today, I'm a completely different person. In fact, yesterday I was so stressed out that I just spent most of the day going for a long walk because I knew I needed that for my mental health. And that ticked off one of my commitments, which was regular nature connections. That reminds me, another little quote from this gorgeous book actually says, "Find your lane. Make space for the flow to show itself. Follow the natural rhythm of your life and you will discover a force far greater than your own." You sometimes can't force yourself to do certain things if something outside of yourself, like an energy, something bigger than you, such as like life itself, if it's not working with you, that kind of willpower that we have sometimes, that kind of energy and drive, can't be created a lot of the time. We can't force ourselves into a good mood to do a certain thing sometimes, or we can't force creative ideas. Like, how many people here have ever felt that once they make a creative job their full-time passion, it becomes harder to think of new ideas because your livelihood depends on new ideas, and your finances depend on you creating amazing products to sell to people, but it's stressful because I need to be creative every day. No, I think things like creative flow and just flow itself needs to go in and out of your life, and you need to welcome it in when it arrives in whatever form, and do what you can with that energy, because every day is going to feel very different to people. And I think the best thing you can do is sit in front of a bit of paper in that morning and say, what energy do I feel today and what can I do with that? This list allows you to see the things that you didn't quite get done in that day, and that's okay. The last thing I want you to do is to get stressed out about the fact that you're not ticking off all these boxes, by the way. Sure, keep that as your aim. You want to get all these boxes ticked, but you still got the rest of the week. You still are now aware of the things that you haven't quite showed up for yourself about yet. And this is why it's important to keep these things somewhat achievable. Like, don't do massive bullet points with massive activities, because it's going to be overwhelming and you're going to stress yourself out. And I've done that before. Sometimes when my energy is not matching the list I gave myself in that morning, it makes me angry in a way when I feel like I'm not doing the things I set myself out to do, because I am massively boosted by productivity. So all you're really going to need to do is remember those things that you haven't yet quite done as a priority. Put them like further up in your list of like things I do need to get done this week, because I keep putting that off. And then by Sunday, you should have pretty much all of those things required to manifest, those things on the back ticked off. And bit by bit, day by day, week by week, your spring to summer plan, or summer to winter plan, whatever, will start sprouting. You will start seeing their physical evidence coming true in your life. It will start popping up in those different categories, in those boxes. That part of you, that tree we mentioned, how the tree is just basically loads of those different categories and different branches, it will start breathing, it will get bigger, it will feel more abundant, you will feel the successes, the riches, whatever it is, you will start to feel it. And something that I found really powerful for me is I do my daily lists on a bit of A4 piece of paper that I folded up into squares. So by the end of the week, by Sunday or Friday, if I'm doing it as a working week, I can open up the A4 piece of paper like so, and I have a list on both sides of this paper of all of the things that I've achieved that week. And it feels really good. It makes me feel better about relaxing in the weekend, because I know I've done a lot and showed up for myself that week. It allows me to feel accomplished, good about myself, makes me feel amazing. It makes me feel I'm aligned with my goals and I'm putting in the work that brings me closer to those manifestations that I want to bring in my life. And I've actually kept a lot of these bits of paper to show just for this video. So that was one week I had. Here's another week here of all the things I did, double-sided. I think if you're struggling at all with, what to write on your bullet points, one of my goals, at least 2 orders, 2 clients a week. That's quite low, that's quite minimal, to be fair. When I make a new plan, I can amp that up a bit because I know that I've surpassed that. So that was in my tarot box. And then on the back, something that I needed to do actively to create that, to make that happen, create content on my tarot Facebook page once a week, create content for my tarot Instagram once a week. Even though that's not actively like promoting my readings, it's still boosting that page and creating more of an audience on that page, which obviously later down the line progresses to more clients and more people, you know, being exposed to what I do and my services. In my YouTube box, something I wanted to manifest was creating more evergreen content. Evergreen content is basically stuff that will last forever. So it's not like trendy or something that I used to kind of make back in the day where like it's a one-off interest thing and people move on. I want to make stuff that actually helps people in the long term. So on the back here, I knew that once a week I needed to regulate future YouTube ideas. So that basically consists of me sitting down once a week and doing some brainstorming of stuff that I want to create. I've even put in brackets research/script the content. So like I said, I might even have to write up some scripts for some videos. I do actually do that. And then the next bullet point is shoot for YouTube twice, because I want to be making at least 2 videos a week. Another bullet point was editing twice a week. We're manifesting stuff into our lives, such as a successful YouTube channel or a successful like blog, and forgetting about it and throwing it out into the universe as if it's just going to create itself, or it's going to like somehow fall into our laps, be produced without our love and attention and commitment. I think for me, this has worked really well, and hopefully for anyone watching, this will work for you. I'd love it if you guys could let me know if you've done anything on the back end of this video. Like, let me know if this has inspired you at all. Perhaps you can go back to this video after some time of trying this and let me know if it worked for you. I've enjoyed talking about this, so let me know if you'd like to see more content like this on my channel sometime soon. Sending loads of love from my house to yours. Make sure you follow me on my social media, such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I have a tarot reading Facebook page, Tarot with Ellie, and a tarot reading Instagram, Mindfully Mystic. Follow me on there for more things related to kind of what we're talking about today, to be honest. And I'm gonna love you and leave you. Subscribe to this channel to be notified every time I make brand new videos like this one. I apologize for the natural lighting in this video. It's been up and down. Thanks for putting up with that. Bye.